What's up, it's you? For today's video, with a full Pokemon alphabet letter Y team. Today, I'm going to be doing the Pokemon starting with Y, and there is only 4 of them, which is going to make things rather interesting. So all we got left after the Y team is the Z team, and that's it. We're all done. We've done the entire alphabet. If you do want to check me out on Twitch, people, this is where I do all my live streams, the Teen Teens, Pokemon Sweeps, Shiny Hunts, all other forms of salty entertainment. Today, I've got 2 battles with the alphabet letter Y team, and I really hope you enjoy them. The first battle, this one was against Dilly King, and we got a 4v6 here today. Now, I had a couple of battles where I had 4v4s, then I had some 4v6s, and these are probably the 2 best battles I had with this team. So the first Pokemon leader is the Roserade, and I've got my Yamask here. So Yamask, I actually was going to do the Nor one and the Galar one, so I thought that'd count as 2 Pokemon. We got Trick Room, Destiny Bond, Poltergeist, and Earthquake. I ran this as a max health and max attack set with Brave Nature. Now, the Roserade is going to be going for a track there on my little Yamask, and it's going to be not falling in love. It's going to get the Trick Room off. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. At least I'll be able to go first, right? That's not going to stop the infatuation from happening, but maybe it's going to give me a chance, right? That's what I thought. And now we got the Roserade going for a stun spore, and I am going to get paralyzed, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, out of all the games and stuff, even like that, all the Pokemon, there's only 4 beginning with Y. So I think in the future, we need some more Pokemon starting with Y, right? Anyway, so I'm going to get paralyzed, and I'm going to get infatuated here, which was really rough because I was really struggling to get an attack off, and I wasn't really wanting to swap into my other Pokemon because they would probably meet the same fate, right? So I thought, well, if I can get maybe 1 attack off on the Roserade, then bring my next Pokemon, that should be enough to take it out. Now, this seemed to be a Technician physical Roserade here, and it had Pin Missile. And I'm guessing from the item that it probably had King's Rock as the item. I could be wrong, but that's what I was thinking at this stage, right? So Pin Missile only was hitting a couple of times at the start. The problem is, right, I kept getting either paralyzed or infatuated. Now, the next one actually hit quite a few times. I think they got a full 5 hits of the Pin Missile off there. It's not doing a lot of damage. It's just, I can't do anything. So there we go. There was a flinch there confirming it's going to be a King's Rock or a Razor Fang there. So poor little Yamask cannot do a thing here. And once again, I do not want to swap out because I don't want to get paralyzed. I don't want this whole thing started again, right? So I'm down to my last turn here. I need to get this 1 hit would be great, and maybe an Earthquake, and I got immobilized by love. And Roserade is going to be going for its final Pin Missile, taking my Yamask out. So not a very nice start to the battle there. My poor Yamask couldn't do anything at all, right? Now, the next Pokemon I'm going to swap in here is going to be my next Yamask. This is my non-Galar Yamask. Now, this one was a bulky boosting set, and I felt, well, this will do alright because it won't fall victim to Attract at least. We got Pain Split, Carmine, Hex, and Will-O-Wisp. I ran this as a max health and max defensive set, and I just spammed Carmine, and then I could go for Will-O-Wisp and go for the Hex there for double base power. And it worked pretty well. It's quite a bulky set too. I've got the Yveltal as the item. My first Yamask had Focus Sash as the item, if I didn't mention that already. So this thing's got a decent defensive stat. The thing about it doesn't really have a lot of health, so even with max health, max defense, it wasn't amazingly bulky. So we got this same thing again. We got the Bullet Seed this time. So it's got Bullet Seed, and it's got Pin Missile, and it's going to be powered up by Technician, right? Since I'm running a bulky defense set, it's not really doing too much yet. The good thing is I'm not infatuated, but there's still a good chance that I won't be able to attack. So I thought I've got to use this time to get as many Carmines up as possible. Then I'll land a Hex on the Roserade and hopefully take it out, right? That was pretty much the idea. And I've already got the Will-O-Wisp up there, so then it'll do double base power and hopefully take it out. So I was hoping I didn't actually get really bad luck and get paralyzed in the next 3 turns in a row. But at the same time, I need to get enough Carmines up to do any damage to the Roserade. And of course, there was still 5 other Pokemon left, right? And things were not looking good. I mean, I guess the only good thing here was Burn was doing a bit of damage, right? So here comes another Bullet Seed number 1,000,000. And Yamask was still losing a fair bit of health. It almost lost half its health already, even though the attacks weren't doing a lot, right? So finally I'm going to go for the Hex here. I thought that's about enough, and Roserade is going to be able to live that one. But the next turn, it's going to go down. So okay, let's go for 1 more Carmine here, and the Burn will take Roserade out. And I could possibly go for a Pain Split on the incoming Pokemon there, right? So our Bullet Seed's going to hit me 2 times, and I get Flinch on the second one, man. And the Burn is going to take out the Roserade. I like that name, Roserade. I only just got why you'd be raging. Next Pokemon to come out here is going to be Ordino, and I really can't do much here. I knew they had Ordino, but at this stage, I had to send this out because I was going to get destroyed with my other Pokemon. One of my Pokemon, I really didn't want to be paralyzed. Now, I'm going to get confused here by the Ordino, but I am going to get a Will-O-Wisp off, so that's good. So at least I'm going to do, like, some form of damage to this Ordino. Now, Ordino is fairly bulky too, so I'm going to need probably my only real strong physical attacking Pokemon to take this out. Now, I've already lost Yanmaskella, which is one of my attacking Pokemon, so I've got one more left. Now we got the Mummy swapping onto the Ordino now. It's going to get rid of its Regenerator, and I'm still confused at the moment. I don't really know what I want to do here because I don't really want to swap out, but at the same stage, I can't really do any damage to it apart from Will-O-Wisp. So I'm going to probably get a 20-minute timer here just for this matchup with the Ordino and the Yanmask here, right? So I got to pull it out, and I'm not going to say that. I've got to pull it out, and I've got to put it back in. This time, it's going to be Yveltal. Now, this is going to be probably the best set on my team, right? I was only running 4 Pokemon, and they weren't really the greatest sets on the planet, right? This is a physical Yveltal. It's a Hone Claws set, and we're going to be running Hone Claws, Dragon Claw, Dual Wind Beat, and Sucker Punch, right? I've got the EV Spreaders Max Speed and Max Attack, and I've also got Jolly Nature. And the item is Black Glasses, too, so I thought, let's get rid of this Ordino. None of the Pokemon on my team will be able to take it out. Like my Yanmask can't. It's dead. The other Yanmask can't because it's only got a Ghost type move. And I've only got one other Y Pokemon. And I can tell you what, looking at that set, it's probably not going to take it out, right? It'll probably die to Ordino. It's not very bulky. So going for the Dynamax here, I really have to. And I thought, well, I might be able to take maybe a couple of Pokemon here to try and get me back into the game. I didn't think it'd be a good idea to start sending out Hone Claws there, so I just went for the KO. Unfortunately, Ordino is going to be able to live that one. Only on a little bit of health, though, but it did manage to live, and it managed to get a sweet kiss off, which is very unfortunate. Now, this is, I mean, it's better than getting paralyzed, I guess, right? Now, Ordino, I'm not sure what other moves that it actually has to do any real damage to me at all, but I know that if I, like, one more attack on it, it's going to go down, which would be good, right? Unfortunately, I am going to hit myself in confusion, and that is my second turn of Dynamax wasted there, so I'll have to use all of my turns of Dynamax just on this Ordino. I don't think Ordino has any other moves to hit me with there because it went for a Zen Headbutt, so before early, if you notice, and it already used Sweet Kiss. So I think that's pretty much out of moves to use here. And yeah, just keep it in to get rid of my Dynamax, yeah? So I go for a Max Airstream here, and that is going to take out Ordino. It's going to give me a +1 in speed too, which, you know, it could be helpful against some other Pokemon. Yveltal isn't actually really that fast either. It sort of relies on Sucker Punch to go first there. Next Pokemon we got is the Marjano. So this Pokemon is going to be the Pokeball form, right? Now, as you can see by my moves, I have nothing to do against this thing. It's going to wall me completely, right? So I'm going to get confused, and I'm going to hit myself with confusion again. Man, now the Marjano is going to go for the speed swap here, swapping out speed. So it's going to get my speed stat there, and I'm going to get its own, which is very, very slow. Now they're going to go for Iron Head here. So obviously this set does pretty good amounts of damage, and also it's aimed to flinch me too. So I went for another Hone Claws here. I thought if I can get around the speed, I'll use Sucker Punch. Now, I know that Sucker Punch is not going to do a lot of damage, but maybe if I can get a couple of Hone Claws up, and, you know, with Dark Aura and Wise Glasses, it might do a bit of damage to it. That was the idea anyway, right? So go for my final Hone Claws here. I'm going to go for Sucker Punch the next turn, and Marjano's actually going to be going for a Status Move B, the speed swap. So I'm guessing they predicted that I had Sucker Punch, which is fine, because I'm just going to keep going for it over and over, right? I want to get at least one hit off, and it did pretty well. It's a 2-hit KO there. Here comes another Iron Head from Marjano, and Yveltal is going to go down. So now I've lost my best Pokemon, which is very, very unfortunate. Should I bring back in my Yanmask, or should I try with my other Pokemon, like the only Pokemon that I haven't used yet? That's what I was, thinking right here. So Marjano's going to have leftovers like, okay, let's go with the Yamper. It's my only other Pokemon. Now, this Yamper set was Max Health and Max Special Attack. We've got Modest Nature. Ability is Rattled. I really did want to run Ball Fetch, but it's not going to do anything. And we got Thunderbolt with Snarl and Swift. So that was the set right there. So good thing I wasn't running any speed on this, because that would have... No, that actually would have been, I'd say I would have been a bit slower than Marjano, so maybe they thought I was running a bit of a fast one. So go for a Thunder here on the Marjano. Ironhead wouldn't have done much to it anyway, I don't think. So Thunder doesn't take it out, but it does pretty good damage, and I get a nice little Paralyze there, so that's pretty cool. I can take it out with my next Thunder here, but there's still... you know, looking at the team, there's still 4 more Pokemon, so it's going to be very difficult. So go for another Thunder, and Majana is going to be going down, which is good. I'm happy that Yamper managed to actually do something. Now, with this next Pokemon we got is Frillish. I was like, okay, Frillish is going to be super effective here to a Thunder, but it's probably going to have Everlight, so I doubt I'll be able to take it out in one shot yet. So I go for Thunder there on the Frillish, and it's a female one, which looks pretty cool. I actually done a Frillish evolution team, if you like the Frillish line, and it's going to be going for a Will-O-Wisp. I'd say this probably has something like, judging on the other sets they've probably run, I'd say it's got like Hex or something like that, or it's just a scummy, it's a full scummy team, right? Now I'm going to go for a second Thunder. It's going to land, and Frillish is going to be no more. So I'm starting to claw my way back into the team. When you look at it right now, Yamper's probably been the best Pokemon so far. It's taken 2 out. It's been the MVP so far. Is this it for Yamper? Is it going to be able to have any more use after this? We'll find out. Next Pokemon is the Uxie. I'm like, man, this is going to need a lot of hits right here. So Uxie's going to go for a Drain Punch. Doesn't take Yamper out, but it almost does. So Yamper can go for a Thunder here, and that's going to be really its only move to do against Uxie. That's pretty good damage. I was happy with that. It's a 3-hit KO, yep. So taking a little bit more damage from the Will-O-Wisp. Here comes the Zen Headbutt. Zen Headbutt's actually going to miss. Give me another opportunity to go for Thunder here, and that's very, very good. So 2 hits on the Thunder. I only need 1 more to take it out, but now Uxie can definitely... Well, I'm going to die to burn the next turn regardless anyway here. So here comes Zen Headbutt, and bye-bye Yamper. It was definitely the best Pokemon on my team. I mean, it did better than Yveltal, and that Dynamax too. Last Pokemon we got here is the Yanmask. I did say this because I thought it'd be quite good against maybe some of these, later Pokemon on the team. And Zen Headbutt's really not going to do a lot of damage here. So getting rid of its Levitate and giving it Mummy, not that it really mattered at all, right? Now, I actually went for Hex here just to try and finish off the Uxie, and Hex was probably just enough to take it out. So bye-bye Uxie, and there was really only 1 more Pokemon left each here, so that was kind of nice. My opponent had not Dynamax yet, I noticed, which was going to be a problem. So we got the Lopunny here. It can't really do any normal type moves to me, so it's going to go for an Ice Punch. Since I'm running such a bulky defensive set, Ice Punch is not going to do much at all. Plus, I got rid of Q-Charm, which is... quite good. So go for Paint Spin here, getting a lot of my health back there, and Lopunny is going to be losing a lot. Now, I'm thinking my opponent's probably going to Dynamax either this turn or the next turn, and it's going to be Dynamax. I'm thinking, okay, Max Hailstorm, I know that I can live that. What other moves? It's got a normal type move, I'm guessing. What other moves would I have? Just coverage moves, so it's definitely not going to be Snap. I might be able to stall this out, but I really need to get a Will-O-Wisp against it if it is a fully physical Lopunny, which I'm thinking it is, judging on the damage. So here comes a Max Airstream here. I'm guessing this is coming off Bounce, and that really doesn't do a lot of damage to me either, right? Which is great. Now I'm going to go for Will-O-Wisp here, and Will-O-Wisp does not miss, which is very important. I'd say if I missed that one, I would have been in a lot of trouble. So getting some nice bird damage on Lopunny, and now I know that I can easily live 2 more hits. We are down to the last 50 seconds of the battle here. Here comes the Max Hailstorm coming off the Ice Punch, which does very minimal damage too. That is also going to do damage to both of us, which I thought, I guess that's a good play because I'm only on a little bit of health anyway. So go for Paint Spin there on the Lopunny. I am going to get a little bit of health back, but it's nothing really special, right? We are both going to get hit by the hail. At this stage, Lopunny has probably a tiny little bit more health than me, and we got the last 30 seconds of the battle. So here it goes. I went for the Paint Spin here. The Lopunny is going to go for the Max Hailstorm. Once again, it's not going to do much damage to me. I've got 32 health here, and I get paralyzed. And that spells doom for me because that is going to be the Lopunny that has more health at this stage in the battle, and that means I'll lose, right? That's what you think I definitely lose in this situation. However, the game said that I won. I pressed the fight button, hit the Pain Spear, and I ended up winning even though Lopunny had more health than me. Now, the only thing I can put it down to that I ended up winning that was I took more Pokemon out. So it sort of prioritized that I took more Pokemon out than the health remaining on the last 2 Pokemon. I've actually never seen that happen before, so that's my theory anyway. Discuss in the comment section what you think, but I definitely think that is a theory. Okay, let's get on to the second battle. This one was against Skyline, and we got a Pyukumuku lead. Now, this is my Galar Yanmask lead with the Trick Room, right? Now, Pyukumuku's going to be swapping out here, and we've got the Swablu coming in. My opponent also has a theme team as well. I wonder if you could guess what it is. So he's setting up the Trick Room here, and for a second I was like, wow, I really don't know what I can do to this, because I can't hit Earthquake, I can't hit Poltergeist. Let's see what it's going to do. It went for Toxic and a miss. I was like, okay, great. I'll swap it out and I'll go into another Pokemon. So I guess I was a little bit lucky that missed there, because that would have been unfortunate being poison right. Now Swablu is going to go for a Toxic on my Yamper. Yamper at least can go for a Thunder, which will be super effective. I mean, it should take a Swablu out, but you never know. Maybe it's like a crazy bulky Everlight set, like special Everlight set. I don't really know, right? So not the Swablu, sorry, it's not a Swampert, is going to swap out, and the Sponge is going to come in, which is the Pyukumuka. This was actually quite rare to see this happen, right? I went for the Thunder, it was Choice Fix, right? And it lands on the Pyukumuka, right? Pyukumuka gets demolished in one shot. I never would have thought it would have taken it out. In a Doubt's going to kick in there against the Yamper, and it's going to get rid of most of the health. But man, I didn't expect it to one shot. I mean, I thought it would do some decent damage, over half, but not the one shot. So that was amazing. Yamper coming in clutch. Next Pokemon is going to be the Lotad. Thunder's going to miss. I don't know whether that would have taken it out. And here comes the Energy Ball from the Lotad taking out my Yamper. But once again, Yamper getting rid of a very bulky Pokemon. When I look at it, right, just looking at the rest of my team, it would have been really hard to take that Pyukumuka out. Just depending on what the set is, right? I would have needed a lot of boost from my Yveltal to take that out, right? So we got the Lotad go for the Surf here on my Yanmas, and I'm actually going to be setting the Trick Room up here. So I thought that'd be a good idea for the rest of my Pokemon team. I know that I can't take this out in one shot, so let's go ahead and go for Destiny Bod. That'll take me out, and then the Lotad will faint as well. Imagine having to use Destiny Bod against a Lotad in a children's game of Pokemon. Welcome to PIMPNITE channel, people. So here comes another Surf, and Yanmas is going to faint as well as the Lotad, which is fine, but I have set the Trigger up so that'll allow me maybe to swap in my other Yanmas. That could help out, or I could go into my Yveltal and set up the Hone Claws. It doesn't really matter because I've got priority with the Sucker Punch. In the end, I decided to send in my normal Yanmask here and maybe try for a hand of setting up some Calm Minds. In comes the toilet, the Pelipper, and it's going to be raining here. Now, I thought, let's set up Calm Minds here. If it is a special set, I'll be able to bulk that pretty nicely. If it's physical, well, I'm max health, max defense, so I should be able to tank it reasonably well, right? Now, Pelipper's going to be a physical set with the Liquidation here. I knew that I'd be able to take this very, very well, and I did. The only bad thing is I got a defensive drop. Like, oh, that's really bad, because now it's going to hit me a lot harder, right? So I will get rid of the Drizzle on the Pelipper, which doesn't really matter too much because it can easily swap out. But the main thing is, now I've seen it's a physical set, I need to burn it, right? But I do have a defensive drop, so Pelipper will be hitting a little bit harder than it normally would, you know, if it was just straight up burn there, right? So it's going to be about, I reckon I can land like, I'd probably need like 2 hexes to take this thing out, right? So I go for the hex here on the Pelipper, and it does pretty good damage. The next hex will take it out. Pelipper can really only do Liquidation here. It could have Roost, but there's not really a lot of point. It's not really doing much damage to me at this point at all. And I still do have Pain Spit, so I could use Pain Spit on another Pokemon, right? The Trick Room is going to wear off, and I get hit by another Liquidation. I'm only on 21 health here, so I may not get the opportunity to get another Pain Split off there, but at least I took out the toilet, right? So bye-bye Pelipper. Now, the next Pokemon to come in here is going to be the Chinchou, and this can use any Water-type move and take me out. It's going to go for a Hydro Pump, and there is no way I will live that one there. So bye-bye Yanmas. I am down to my very last Pokemon, which is my Yveltal. So I'm going to need to set them Hone Claws up here just to take this out, right? Now, Yveltal hits pretty hard with any Dark-type move, but I have to rely on Sucker Punch, so it's kind of obvious what you want to do there. Unless you've got, like, I don't know, like Dynamax good to go, right? So I go for Hone Claws here against the Chinchou. Another Sucker Punch will easily take this out here, so and even if it's Everlight, I should be fine to take it out. So Chinchou's going to be swapping out here, and unfortunately, I won't be able to do any damage because I went for Sucker Punch. And in comes the Swablu. I wasn't sure what this set was, right, so I just thought, let's go for dual Wing Beat here. I don't really want to waste my Dynamax yet. And look how bulky it is. Like, it took 2 dual Wing Beats. I was like, man, and it's an Everlight set. Like, I think it's like max health, max defense. And now it's going to go for a Toxic. So my Yveltal is poisoned there. I'm getting poisoned by the towel. It's like you dropped it in the dirt and the scum, then you wrap it around yourself. Like, I've got to tell you a quick story about a towel, right? I was over someone's house, right? And I needed a towel, right? So instead of picking up like a fresh clean towel, they picked up like a dog towel, and I like wrapped it around me and dried myself off. And I was covered in dog hair. It was the most amazing experience in the world. Anyway, back to the video. We're going to go for a Dynamax Yveltal here, and then I had to have another shower, and then I dried myself off again. This time it was with the clean towel. which was highly interesting. I know you love that story so much. So go for Dynamax Yveltal. I've got to take the Swabble out. Like, this is the pinnacle of desperation Dynamax right now. So go for the Airstream here, boosting my speed and taking out the mighty Swablu. So all that's left there is a Chinchou and one other Pokemon. I'm definitely certain I can take the Chinchou out. That's not going to be much of a problem there at all, right? The last Pokemon here, I know it's not going to be Chinchou, right? Also get hit by the poison there. And then they said the Chinchou, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're just stalling my Dynamax out here. So I can go for Max Darkness. That'll do a lot of damage. I can go for Max Whirlwind. Either one of these moves will be able to, take it out there. Chinchou isn't exactly what you call bulky. Even with the Everlight, right, I don't think it's going to be living right. So bye-bye Chinchou is going to get one-shotted, and there's only one more Pokemon left now. I have used up 2 turns of my Dynamax here, and I'm also taking some damage from the Toxic there too. The last Pokemon is going to be the Showerhead, which is the Seadra. So I think I can take this Seadra unless it's the Everlight set or to max health, max defenses, like really, really bulky set, right? There's something along those lines. So I'm going to go for the Max Darkness here. My opponent is going to go for the Dynamax right away. So it's like, okay. A bad thing here would be if my opponent did go for a Max Guard, denying me of my last turn of damage and Dynamax, which is going to be a lot. Then I'll have to be forced to go for Sucker Punch afterwards, right? Let's see what is going to happen here. My opponent, instead of attacking me, is indeed going to go for a Max Guard. That'll deny my last Max Darkness there, which is a shame. So Yveltal is out of its final turn of Dynamax. Now, I did get, I have got my Black Glass there, and I've got my Home Claws up, and I've got my Sucker Punch. I thought, I've got a chance here, but it also sort of depends on what sort of, set this was actually going to be. Seadra's got a reasonable amount of bulk to it too, so I was a little bit worried there, but I thought I might be able to leave an attack from it. We'll see. The only bad thing is I am poisoned too, which is the same. So go for Sucker Punch, and there is no way I was ever going to take that out in one shot. Like, look at the damage. Here comes a Max Geyser from the Showerhead, and that does pretty good damage to me. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, I've taken a lot of damage there from the Toxic earlier on. I think this could be like, I think that's like the 3rd or 4th turn from the Toxic damage, and I am going to faint. And bye-bye, Yveltal, and hello, Showerhead. I actually need a shower soon. Thank you for the battle, Skyline. I hope you people enjoyed the letter Y alphabet team. Peace out.